Hello, hello, hello. What a beautiful Saturday afternoon. I'm here live with you guys. I'm very excited. This week has been a particularly positive week. And I'll tell you why. Earlier in the week, I made a decision that's changed everything for me on a personal note. I am a very sporty, very active person. I'm a bit of a go getter, you might say. And during my time as a mother, I've kind of lost sight of me. I've spent so much time and energy having babies and bringing them up. And I'm starting to realize that in the 5 or 6 years that I've been a mother, I've really lost sight of who I am. I've lost sight of the things that I'm deeply passionate about outside of work. And so this week, it just dawned on me that I always put off finding myself again. So I decided this week, I'm going to go back to being sporty, active Anna. I'm going to go back to gymnastics. That's the first thing. That's the hardest thing because gymnastics is hard on your body. I'm so far away from where I was before. And having had a 6 year break, I've just procrastinated. I've put it off. It's going to be so difficult to go back. But this week, I went back. And just making that one decision, just saying no more excuses, just do it. It started to just open up the whole world again for me. So because I went and then the next day felt really sore and the day after felt really sore again, I then decided, well, if I don't do anything for a whole week, then I'm not really going to see the benefit. So maybe I should do some more exercise. So I got on my bike. I haven't really done any serious cycling again for a very long time. So I cycled all the way to my club, which is about a half an hour cycle. And then I played 2 hours of really intense squash. And then I cycled home. And on the homeward cycle, there's a hill that is dreaded. It's very long and very steep. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to get up that hill. I'll have to walk my bike to the top of the hill. But when I got there, I thought, no, don't give up, Anna. Come on. This is the new you. You don't give up. You're fighting to get back to your old self. So I kept going and kept going until I eventually got to the top of the hill. And I thought, wow, that was much easier than I thought it was going to be. And from doing this exercise, I'm feeling energized and motivated. And my body is sore, but not nearly as sore as I thought it would be. And the reason I'm telling you this story, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because we often face obstacles on our route to achieving our goals. And the obstacles are usually mental blocks. It's usually us. It's us feeling like something we want to achieve is just a bit too hard or it's just not the right time. And so we stop ourselves from taking the steps that are required to achieve our goals. And sometimes all you have to do is make one decision, make one change, take one action to spark change, to make you see the obstacle in a different way, to allow you to start doing the right things, to create the habits to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So don't be your obstacle. Make that decision, take that step, and achieve your goal. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm sure many of you do. You're all saying hello. Hi. If you don't know me, my name is Anna, and you are joining me within the English Like a Native channel, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Now, I've been teaching English online since 2017. It's when I started my YouTube channel as you know it, but I've been teaching for well over a decade. And I'm just quite passionate about creating content that can help you to get rid of that language barrier, to get rid of that obstacle that is English, and to feel free and confident when you speak English. So that's my goal. That's my aim. And I do this by creating content on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok occasionally, LinkedIn. And I also have a very popular podcast now, which has had over 1 million downloads, which is just incredible. And really enjoying making daily content on the podcast. And for many years now, I've also been running an online community for very dedicated students who want additional resource and additional support on their journey to English fluency. So that's me. That's what I do. And today is about you. We're going to talk about why you might find learning English online tricky, or learning any language online tricky. We're going to talk about tips for self-study and how to make it most effective, how to get the best results out of your time and your effort. And then also, I'm going to talk about how I can support you on your journey. Now, because you've joined me here, there's also a special offer for you guys today only. If you would like to become a member of my community that I briefly mentioned, then you can today with a 10% discount. All you have to do is go over to the website, englishlikeanative.co.uk, and use the coupon code +10 when you're in the checkout for the club. So you've got 2 tiers, 2 options of membership, a standard option and a plus option. I'll explain in more detail about this a little later. But this discount will be added to your membership for up to 6 months if you choose to sign up today. Just remember to use the coupon code. Okay, so I'm really thrilled to share with you some key strategies to make your English learning journey more effective and more enjoyable, because we all just want to enjoy ourselves, right? No one enjoys learning under duress, but sometimes we need English for work. We need English to move to a different country, maybe. And sometimes it feels like a chore. You really need it, but that doesn't mean it can't be fun. It can still be fun and enjoyable. So I'm going to start off with something a little quick and easy and fun, a way to make sure that you're engaged. And so I want you to do some typing and chit chat with me. I'm going to leave this on and then put the comments back on so I can see them. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to share something with you. If I can put all this on. So I want to first make sure that you're awake and that you're going to interact with me. So if you are awake and you're interactive and you're ready for an interactive experience, then I want you to write, "Oh yeah," in the comments. Or a simple yes would be fine, but just, "Oh yeah, I'm ready." Something to show that you are actively engaged. Yes, there are no subtitles because this is live. You are watching me live right now. So there are no subtitles right now, I'm afraid. Okay, we have some people wide awake, ready to engage. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Hello. Ooh, let's crack on. Yes, cracking the whip there. Diana, you are ready. Roberta, oh yeah, fantastic. So we are a team. The English Like a Native community is all about support, encouragement, being engaged. You only get out of an experience what you put in. Okay, so get involved and you'll get a lot out of it. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share something with you. Will it all go into one comment? Oh, it hasn't gone all into one comment. That's so frustrating. Okay, well, let's just do what I can. So, in our community, we're focusing on vocabulary here. In our community, everyone is willing to lend a hand whenever needed, creating a strong sense of unity and cooperation. We know that no matter the challenge, we can always count on each other. We all have each other's back, ensuring that no one feels alone. Beyond that, we pride ourselves on our dedication to go the extra mile, not just meeting expectations, but exceeding them to achieve our collective goal. This commitment to supporting one another has made us not only a successful, what's it done with the rest of my, hang on. Oh, technology. Let me just do this last sentence. Bear with me. Can you see me popping up over? Hi, hello. Okay, this commitment to supporting one another has made us not only a successful team, but also a close knit group of friends. Okay, so there were a few items of vocabulary that I'd highlighted there. And the first one was lend a hand. To lend a hand. So I want you to try to write a sentence that's personal to you that uses the phrase lend a hand. To lend a hand. So those of you who said, oh, yeah, I'm engaged, I'm ready, this is your time to prove to me that you are active and engaged. Write a sentence using lend a hand. But question, what does lend a hand mean? Can anyone help with this one? What does lend a hand mean? Let's have a look once again at the context. So it was the first sentence in which I used this phrase. So I want you to be thinking of your own sentence. It's here we go. In our community, everyone is willing to lend a hand whenever needed, creating a strong sense of unity and cooperation. Good example here. Can you lend a hand to wash up the dishes, please? So here, I'd probably change this slightly and say, can you lend a hand with the dishes? Or you might say, I'm cleaning up the kitchen. Can you lend a hand? Roberta, you said, I was very busy yesterday, but my husband lent me a hand and I got everything done in good time for a nice night out. You could just say lent a hand. My husband lent a hand. So it just means helped or to help. Okay, so to lend a hand is to help. Can you lend me a hand? Or can you lend a hand is can you help? He lent me a hand. He helped. We all like to lend a hand to people in need. And actually, when you do lend a hand to someone, it can actually create a strong bond between you, can't it? So I have a mum friend, someone that I made friends with just because we're mums. And then one day, I was struggling really badly to help my partner with putting up some insulation on our roof. So it was the ceiling, not the roof, sorry, the ceiling, the underneath part of the roof. We were putting up these huge plasterboards, these like plasterboards with insulation on the other side. They were really heavy, huge boards, as big as me. And I had to hold the board up above my head while my partner with the drill drilled them into place. Now, if I had dropped the board because it's made of plaster, it would have broken. And these boards cost a fortune. I also was not just doing this, it had to be on the ceiling. So I was balancing on a ladder doing this. Had I lost my balance, I would have not only broken the plasterboard, I could have broken my neck or a leg or a hip, you know? So I was desperate for help. So I texted a few friends and one of my mum friends said, hey, my husband and I, we can come over and lend a hand. And so they came over and we got the boards up in no time. Her husband was very strong. He was able to hold it very easily, making me look quite weak and pathetic. And our relationship, because of that, actually became stronger. So lending a hand means to help. Let me see. Have you guys given any more examples? Yes. So I lent a hand to my colleague last month in preparing the closing reports. Fantastic. Can you lend me a hand? Can you lend, not land? Make sure it's an E, not an A. Can you lend me a hand with my homework, please? Very good. Lend a hand for supporting second language learners is most kindest manner of you. Okay, so lend a hand for supporting. So I would change this. This doesn't quite make sense. I get the gist of what you mean here, but let's make it work. You could say it's most kind of you to lend a hand to second language learners. It's most kind of you, which sounds quite formal. Most kind. It's most kind. You would most often hear people say, it's very kind of you. It's very kind of you. It's very kind of you to lend a hand in order to support second language learners. Fantastic. Any other examples? I'm sorry if I've missed any examples. There's lots of comments coming through. Oh, Monica, very nice. Very sweet. Hi, Anna. I loved your today's podcast. Okay, so don't use your and today's. So it's your podcast or today's podcast. You can't use both together. So I loved your podcast. You could say, I loved your podcast today, or today I really enjoyed or loved your podcast. Today I loved your podcast. I'm slowly getting back to regular English studying after so many health problems. I've been doing business English. And I'm really enjoying it. I truly recommend this course and the community, which is like another family. Thank you, Monica. I really appreciate you sharing that, because I feel the same way. I feel like the community it's a support network. That's what it's meant to be. It's a support network. We're there for each other. We have, here we go. Sorry. We have people that we can count on. It's nice to have people to count on. So this is our second phrase, to count on someone. And this is how I used it in the example text. We know that no matter the challenge, we can always count on each other. We can always count on each other. What's this mean? To be able to count on someone? And can you use it in a sentence? Does anybody want to share their ideas of what count on means? This is a phrasal verb. To expect someone, as in, so that's not the answer. If you're expecting someone, you mean like you're waiting for them to arrive. I can't think of a phrasal verb for that. Yes, Roberta, absolutely spot on. To rely on someone. If you can rely on them, then you can count on them. Okay. So if someone is reliable, if they do what they say they're going to do, or if there's someone who is likely to support you. For example, most of us can count on the support of our best friends. Hopefully your best friend is a friend you can trust for support. Most of us should be able to count on our family. Not always, unfortunately, but we should at least be able to count on our partners and our parents, people that we're most close to. They are people we can trust, and it's nice to have someone like that. Okay. So to be able to count on someone, can you give me a sentence? Who do you count on? Now, I count on my partner to oh gosh, lots of things running through my mind. I count on my partner to help me with the childcare. If I didn't have my partner helping with childcare, then I wouldn't be as active online teaching English as I currently am. I count on him. I rely on him, and I can count on him. I can rely on him because he is a reliable person and he supports me and he supports what we do. Um, we count on our parents when we are teenagers. Very good. Oh, that one. I count on my friend. Fantastic. You can count on me. This is a great phrase, Lemo. Thank you for sharing this. So, if someone says, I'm throwing a surprise party for a mutual friend, and I really want to make sure it's extra special. So it would be great if you could come and be there on time so that when she arrives, we can all say surprise. And if you are wanting to reassure me that you're reliable and you'll be there, then you'd use the phrase, you can count on me. It's just saying, you can trust that I will do that. I'm reliable. Don't worry. Okay. So it's a great phrase. You can count on me. Okay. So another phrase that appeared in that those two sentences that I shared last is to have someone's back. We have each other's back. I've written here. We have each other's back. To have someone's back. What does this mean? To have someone's back. Let me put this up on its own. What does it mean, and can you use it in a sentence? You might even say to someone, hey, I've got your back. I've got your back. I've got your back, but your is often weakened, simply yeah. I've got your back. I've got your back. What does it mean? Just throw your thoughts into the chat. Yeah, so this is it. It's like to support. It's to say that you're there to protect them, to give them support if they need it. So for example, in a very physical way, if you're on a football team, I'm thinking about American football here, or rugby. I don't really know these particular sports very well, but let's say you're playing rugby and you've got the people at the very front, and then you've got people behind who are defending, and you've got a strategy that these people at the front are going to attack, and they're going to attack really fast and really hard, but it's risky. They might lose the ball, and the people in defense at the back say, don't worry, I'm behind you. I've got your back. I'm going to defend in case your plan doesn't work. So I will back you up. That's another phrase. I will back you up. I've got your back. I'm here supporting you, doing this with you. I'm going to push you on. I'm going to help you. I'm going to support you in this plan. So I don't know if the rugby analogy is a good analogy, but that's what it means, to support and defend someone. Okay. So yeah, I've got your back. I've got your back if you need to do something a bit scary, a bit risky. And don't worry, because I'm here. I'm here if you need me. I've got your back. I'll back you up. I'll protect you and help you and defend you. Okay. What else did we have? Oh, we had this fun phrase, didn't we? Let me just share it with you. Thank you for being so active, guys. I'm really, really impressed with all the comments coming through. So I said, beyond that, we pride ourselves on our dedication to go the extra mile. To go the extra mile. What does this phrase mean? And is this something you've ever done or experienced? Do you ever go the extra mile? What does it mean? And can you use it in a sentence to describe your own personal experience? I often go the extra mile. I'm a little bit I'm what we call a yes person. I'm very bad at saying no. My mum was the same, and I've had to learn to be a little bit more disciplined and say no a bit more often, because I tend to go the extra mile. I I go above and beyond. There's another phrase, above and beyond. I do more than is expected. Monica, fantastic. To make more effort than is expected of you. That's what this means. So for example, if you go to a DIY store, you're going to do some decorating. I need to replace the doors on my cupboards and I need to fix some cracks in the plaster. So I'm going to go to the DIY store. I have no idea what products I need to fix plaster. So go to the DIY store and I say, "Excuse me, I think I need some filler. I Could you help? Could you tell me where the filler is?" And the person that I'm speaking to says, "Yeah, sure. What's the problem exactly?" "Oh, well, I have a crack in my plaster at home." And then they ask me some more questions. They find out exactly what the issue is. And then they don't just tell me where the filler is, they escort me to exactly where it is, bringing a basket, and they grab all the products, telling me how to get the best products for my budget so that I'm not overspending, but I'm also getting the best quality materials. And they put it all in my basket for me and they tell me the method that I need to use in order to fix this crack appropriately so that it will be long lasting and won't require any more work. And then he takes my basket to the checkout for me, rings it all through, offers me a special discount, which he didn't need to do. He was just feeling kind. And then says to me, "Here's my phone number. If you want to send me a picture or send any messages asking questions along the way, I'm happy to assist." He has gone the extra mile in order to support me. All I asked was where the filler was. Okay, so someone who does more than is expected in order to help you. Okay. Fantastic. So let me see your examples now using go the extra mile. Is it something that you've ever done or experienced? Okay, let me see. Ruben, our teacher, the one who's willing to go out of her way to teach us any topic. I thought you'd use go the extra mile, and you could have done there. So you used a different phrase, which is also brilliant, to go out of your way to do something. To go out of your way to do something. We could just exchange that with she's willing to go the extra mile to teach us any topic. Roberta, you've said, when it came to helping out with my children, my father used to go the extra mile. Okay, so his grandchildren. Yes, okay, I get it. When it came to helping out with my child, my father used to go the extra mile. Fantastic. Very, very good. Any other examples you'd like me to share, guys? Okay. Here we go, Monica. I'm always proactive and strive to go the extra mile at work. Fantastic. And going the extra mile at work often gets you noticed and can help you if you want to be promoted. Obviously, you don't want anyone to take advantage of you, so you have to make sure that it's being noticed. With you, we go the extra mile to improve our English. Well, I think that's brilliant. And yes, we should all go the extra mile for ourselves. We often go the extra mile for other people, but we should more often go the extra mile for ourselves. Sometimes my partner will take my children to visit their grandparents, and I'll be left home alone for a night or two. And when I have my children at home, I will spend an hour cooking to make a nice, nutritious, healthy meal. When I'm on my own, however, I really mistreat my body. I don't cook for myself. If anything, I'll just stick a pizza in the oven or I'll get a takeaway pre-made meal to stick in the microwave. Something that's not very healthy, even though I have very strong beliefs about nutrition and whole food and like minimizing plastic and things like that. When I'm on my own, I prioritize work and going the extra mile for other people. And I don't prioritize myself. I don't go the extra mile for myself, but The last time I was on my own, I decided that's going to stop. So I did cook every meal from scratch and made sure I ate in a very healthy way. And we should all do that more often, go the extra mile for ourselves. Okay, a few more here. I am going to extra mile. I am going to go. I am going to go the extra mile. The phrase is to go the extra mile. That's the phrase. So just package that up in one. Okay, the only time that changes is when it's in the past tense. She went or I went the extra mile. But otherwise, it's always to go the extra mile. I need to go the extra mile. I'm going to go the extra mile. So you wouldn't say in my every work. You might say with every project if you have project-based work. So I'm going to go the extra mile with every project, or I'm going to go the extra mile in all my work. In all my work. Fantastic. One more. She went the extra mile to lend a hand, Miranda. Fantastic. You've joined both of them. Brilliant. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Some really good examples. Now, the last little adjective I wanted to bring up was the adjective close knit. Close knit. Now, I used it here like this. This community sorry, I always say community. That's me not reading properly. This commitment to supporting one another has made us not only a successful team, but also a close-knit group of friends. So what does close-knit mean? And could you describe yourself, your relationships with others as close-knit? Can you use close-knit in a sentence? Close-knit. Feel free to add your personalized sentences to the chat. So I would say that my family, my extended family, the family I grew up with, unfortunately, wasn't really a close-knit family. And I've always been a little bit envious of my friends who do have very close-knit families. And it's something that I want to ensure I have with my children now and my partner, the family that I'm building. I want to ensure that it's close-knit. I'm also quite keen to build more of a close-knit community. So I am in charge of I created the WhatsApp group for my street, and I instigate events and get-togethers to try to build the relationships between neighbors so that we are keeping ourselves safe in the area, but also supporting each other in case there's times of need. We have some elderly people on our street. We have some people who live alone. We have lots of young children here as well. So it's nice to be in a close-knit community. Okay, so Mohammed, yes, tight. So it means like to be, I actually don't know how to explain it now. I've said it. Supportive and united together, tight, that we look out for each other. Okay, so are you part of a close-knit family? Do you wish to be part of a close-knit family? Supporting family makes me a close-knit with them. So you don't say close-knit because close-knit is not a noun, it's an adjective. So supporting my family helps to make it close-knit. You could say supporting my family helps make it close-knit. It does feel a bit awkward, but that's along the right lines. Okay? Or my family is close-knit because I work hard to support the members of my family. Ram, I have So now you use a because you're talking about a family. A family. I have a close knit family. They always support me. Fantastic. Great. Okay. So, what are we doing here? What is this? Why am I doing this exercise? Well, I'm giving you some value, teaching you some useful phrases. We had lend a hand, uh, count on. What else did we have? We had go the extra mile, to have someone's back, and close knit. But what I'm trying to show you is it's one thing learning, hearing, using flashcards to see vocabulary. But in order to remember it, you have to make it meaningful. And by making it meaningful, it's going to stay in your mind. It's going to become part of your active, and if not, your passive vocabulary. The problem is we often don't make that connection between what we're learning and us. We don't make it personal. So when I was asking you to give me a sentence to tell me about who you can count on, who has your back, tell me about a time when you or someone has gone the extra mile. What I'm asking you to do is make a connection with that vocabulary, make it personal. And this is how you can best onboard lessons that you're learning. Make it personal. Don't just write random sentences when you can write personal sentences. Draw from your own experience. Own these words that you're learning. Own these phrases. Make them your own. Connect them to something that you already have stored in your mind. And that will suck the vocabulary in. It will suck the lessons in and help you to progress faster than when you're learning in a disconnected way. Okay. All right. So, why can learning online be so hard? So, that brings me to talking about the challenges of learning online. Now, I'm sure that many of you will have encountered some of these obstacles. Now, like I just said, learning online can feel disconnected. It's not always very personal. Communicating, which is why you would learn a language, communicating is a deeply personal act. We communicate our ideas, our passions. I just told you at the beginning of this session that I'm very passionate about sport and being active and gymnastics. That's what I feel passionate about. And I communicated that to you with passion. We communicate our preferences, our likes, dislikes, our fears. And it's through communication that we connect with other people on a meaningful level. Now, online learning can often feel detached and impersonal, which makes it really challenging to engage with the material. So, when learning online, there's often a risk that it will just feel irrelevant to you. Okay. And it can be very passive. If you're watching a lesson in a very passive, one way format, so you're not interacting, you're just letting it pass over you in a very passive way, then you can feel distant and disconnected. It's not personal. And that can make it hard. That can make it hard to learn to onboard. The next issue with learning online is there is a lack of speaking practice. Now, times are changing. Technology is changing at a really fast pace, and there are more and more opportunities, but there is still limited access to speaking practice, especially genuine connections with real people. And that's, again, what language is all about. It's about connecting with people. And so many students that I speak to, and I ask them, tell me where your strengths and weaknesses are. They always say they feel stronger and more confident in, actually, let's do this. Let's do this. Between 0 and 5, I want you to score yourself for each skill. So for reading, writing, listening, and speaking, I want you to give a number to each one. 5 means you are most confident and 0 means you have no confidence at all. So for English, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, I want you to give each one a score. You can just write it with a letter. L for listening, S for speaking, W for writing, and R for reading. And then the number. Tell me how confident you feel. 0, no confidence whatsoever. Oh, I've lost my pencil in my sleeve. And 5 for super confident, no problems, no anxiety whatsoever. Tell me how you feel about each of the skills. It'll be really interesting to see what you guys have to say. Okay, this is the delay now. Waiting. Here we go. Here's one. So speaking 4, writing 2.5, listening 4.5, reading 3. That's really interesting. Eamon, 0. Is that 0 across the board? Is that a 0 for everything? Felipe or Philippe, you said 4 for reading, 4 for writing, 4 for listening, 3 for speaking. Ram, 5 for reading. Fantastic. 3 for listening. 4 for reading, 4 for listening, 4 across the board. There we go. 4 across the board. Amen. 0 for everything. But you're listening to me now, so this can't be a 0. And you've just written, so that can't be a 0. 4 for reading, 2 for speaking, 1 for writing, 3 for listening. This is interesting. A real mixed bag, we call this, a mixed bag. Now, what I usually see from people within my community is that there are higher scores and higher confidence levels within the input skills. So listening and reading, much more confident on those ones, and less confidence with the output. So speaking and writing. Writing and speaking. Much more confident, much more confident, less confident with speaking, less confident with writing. And that's usually because there's more opportunity online to listen and to read, and less opportunity to write, and less opportunity to speak. And that tends to be reflected in how confidence in my mouth has stopped working. Let me reset. Have a drink. Hang on. Okay. I've reset. So that's reflected. That lack of speaking practice is reflected in people's confidence levels. The other problem with learning online, so we talked about it not being personal. We've talked about the lack of speaking opportunities. The other thing is self-motivation and self-discipline. This is something that I know all too well. I struggle with discipline and motivation, especially as someone who works as a self-employed work from home person. I am my own boss. I work in my home office. It's very hard to stay motivated. It's hard to stay disciplined. Sometimes in a way that you wouldn't think. I find it hard to stop working. I work at the weekends. I work late into the night. Sometimes I'm working when I've still got my pajamas on and I'm just eating my breakfast. I start working. I don't put in place boundaries. Now, when you're learning online any skill, it's hard to be continuously motivated and it's hard to be disciplined. This is usually because you're doing things at your own pace. You have complete control. You don't have structure often. There are no appointments and classes set for you to go to. There are no deadlines for you to adhere to. So staying motivated can be tough. If I don't have a deadline for something, then it will go on my to-do list. And my to-do list never gets done. If there's a deadline, I'll do it. If I'm under pressure, I'll do it. So it's very easy to procrastinate when you're learning online. It's easy to lose focus. So these challenges are very real. And they are something that we probably all had to deal with in some respect, at some level, but they're not insurmountable. That's a good word. They're not insurmountable. They can be overcome. We can get past these difficulties and succeed with the right strategy. So now I'm going to give you some tips on how to succeed in learning online, particularly, obviously, learning English. Okay, so number one, let me share this with you. Set clear goals. It's very hard to achieve something when you don't know exactly what it is that you want to achieve. It really helps. And lots of people have spoken about this in all sorts of industries. If you write down exactly what you want or make a vision board of exactly what you want, then you're more likely to succeed in getting that thing. I think, I don't know, a couple of years ago, if someone asked me what I wanted in terms of my business, my work, my answer was just a general, just want to be successful. I want to be happy. And then I was challenged on that. And they said, what does that mean? Does it mean that you want 1 million followers on YouTube? And I was like, well, no, not really. It doesn't mean that, because that doesn't mean, it's lovely to have 1 million followers on YouTube, but it doesn't mean anything. What I mean is that I want to make content that really makes a difference to people. I want to I want to change lives. I want to work reasonable hours and still be able to pay the bills. I want to feel proud of the work that I'm putting out there. And so when I really started to pull apart my general response of I want to be successful, I want to be happy, it actually helped me to feel much clearer about what I wanted. And from there, I was able to decide how to get there. So the idea of working normal hours and the idea of making content that genuinely helped people. So rather than being focused on numbers like subscriber counts and view counts, being focused on meaningful content that made a difference, but also being able to run a business that allowed me to have a normal life. That helped me to then make a plan. So if your goal is to be fluent in English to a point where you can get that promotion or move to an English speaking country, then you have to sit and think, well, where are my weaknesses? How am I not there already? Well, I feel a 3 for speaking. So I need more speaking practice. So it's not just a case of saying, I want to be fluent in English. You need to really be clear about what your goals are. I want to be able to confidently walk into a room in front of a group of professionals and articulate my ideas for upcoming projects with confidence in a way where they don't ask me to repeat myself. When I'm down at the cafe with a group of friends, I want to be able to laugh at their jokes. I want to be able to feel included in the group. I want to express my ideas in a free way without having to simplify the language in order to get my point across. Decide what your goals are. So set your goals. And then when you are clear about your goals, you can create a schedule. Now, I I used to be a huge lover of lists. Used to love writing things down, being organized, making plans. And then I kind of fell off the rails with that a little bit. I lost my way. I stopped making lists. I felt like I was so overwhelmed with things that making lists was just another way to procrastinate. But now I've come back to being organized, making schedules. And I think when it comes to learning a skill and doing it in a very effective way, having a schedule really works, which is why I help my fluency students to create a study schedule. A study schedule doesn't have to be hard and fast. It can be flexible. But if you don't decide exactly when it is you're going to work towards your goals, when are you going to do it? It's like me with gymnastics. I'll say, "Well, when I'm ready, at some point, I'll soon." I've been saying that for years. I'll come back soon. I'll come back soon. So now what I've done is I've booked 4 weeks in advance all the sessions I intend to go to. So I've made my schedule. Okay, and you should make yours. Now, regularity is important. So even if it's a small amount every day, you should try and find in your timetable reasonable places where you could study. And that might be a case of listening to a podcast while you're commuting to work. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. And then maybe you're a morning person and you can get up earlier and you might decide to put half an hour aside in the morning, only on a few days of the week. Maybe at the weekend you can do a 2-hour marathon. Not an actual running marathon, I mean a study marathon. So decide what your schedule is and what works for you. Write it out. Say, on a Monday afternoon, I have a long lunch break. So during that time, I'm going to spend 15 minutes doing something. And then decide based on your confidence levels in all those areas, decide what you're going to do. Well, I really need to work on my writing. I've neglected my writing. So I'm going to spend 3 of these study slots doing writing. During my study marathon at the weekend, I'm going to make sure I get some speaking practice because I really need some speaking practice. So plan it out, okay? And then you have to try and stick to it as much as you can. It doesn't have to be like rigid, but try and do a little at least every day. And that's my next tip. So try and engage with the language daily. Even if it's just 10 minutes, even if it's just reading the first few paragraphs of an article or listening to a conversation in English, if it's writing your shopping list in English or singing a song, everyone feels uplifted when they sing a song. Find some music that's in English language and music that you love. Learn the lyrics, like download them, learn the lyrics, and then sing. Sorry. And then sing along when no one's listening. Sing as loud as you can in the shower. And that could be your English for the day, but make sure you're doing it daily. Daily. I think we should all just do daily shower singing. I think that should just be a thing, whether it's Mariah Carey, Queen, Ed Sheeran, whatever you're into. Belt it out in the shower in English every day. In fact, you can even record yourself, not video. I don't want videos of you in the shower, but you could do an audio. You could record an audio of you singing your best shower song in your best shower voice and send it to me, and I'll put it on my podcast. Or maybe not. Maybe you just want to share it with me and keep yourself accountable. Okay. So the other tip, which I touched on, is regular speaking practice. This is the main thing. It's very rare that someone needs to learn English just to use it in written form. It's majority spoken. So if you are neglecting your speaking practice, then it's going to take a long time for you to get to where you want to be. That idea of being free, fluent. You need to practice more. I know it's scary. I know it can be hard, but you need to do it. You just need to find people. And do you know, so many people obsess about speaking with native speakers. You do not need to practice with native speakers. There are benefits, of course. A native speaker can help you, can pick up pronunciation slips or grammar slips, or if you've used a phrase or word in the wrong place, they can help if they are able to. Not all natives can do that. Not all natives want to do that, but they can help you with that. But there are also lots of other English language learners or English teachers where English is their second language who are amazing too. Within my community, I'm always just so proud to see my students helping other students. So if someone messages on our Telegram group, "Oh, I'm really struggling to understand this. Can someone help me?" And it's taken me a few hours to get to my phone to answer the question. Come on. And my students have already answered it for them. Some of my more advanced students or students who know the answer because they also are immersed in it. What you need to practice is the recall. So, working with a native speaker, a confident, advanced, fluent speaker is useful, but it's also useful working with anyone at whatever level they're at, because you need the practice of having unpracticed, unprepared recall. Someone throws something at you. Could you tell me this? Do you have any pets? Suddenly a question. You have to instantly try and recall the vocabulary to talk about pets. And then if your partner, your speaking partner, is not at a high level, maybe you're at a higher level than them, and they don't understand a word that you've used, in order to communicate, you have to then find a new way of explaining it, which is really useful. So I'm dyslexic and I've struggled with words. And I'm quite a confident person, but I've struggled in the past to improvise. These live sessions used to terrify me. The idea of speaking without a script, terrifying. If you'd have asked me in my 20s to come and do this, I'd say, no way, absolutely not. I cannot possibly speak at length. It's been nearly an hour without a script. That's terrifying. Okay. But having the practice of speaking around something, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean with the phrase barking up the wrong tree. Can you explain that to me? Then you suddenly have to find a new way to communicate the same idea. And that's golden. That kind of practice. So, practicing speaking with people at any level is really useful. So, don't get hung up on having to be with an advanced speaker or having to be with a native speaker. You will pay a fortune to have speaking practice with native speakers. In most cases, you'll pay a lot of money. There are many more opportunities for you to speak with the millions of other English speakers around the world. You just have to be open to it. Don't close off to just speaking with native speakers. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to bring up, I said that my students often ask questions in the Telegram group. So the other tip is to make sure you seek feedback. Don't be shy about asking questions. Learning online can be a very passive experience. If you have doubts about something, then you just continue to have doubts. But you could take a step to try and seek feedback or seek interaction in order to clear your doubts. So don't feel embarrassed. A lot of people who are at a certain level feel embarrassed about not understanding things. And so, especially if you're in a work environment that's English speaking, you might just stay quiet because you don't want to look bad, whatever that means. You don't want people to think bad of you if you say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Seek feedback. Seek feedback. Make sure that you're finding the resolutions to your doubts. Okay, so the last tip is to connect your learning to personal experiences. So that's what we did at the very top. We learned some vocabulary. Can you remember any of it? Top marks if you can write all the phrases in the comments that we looked at. What did we have? Did we have 4 or 5? Let me check. I think we had 5. We had 5. Yeah, we had 5. If you can get all 5, then you get a golden star. I'm just going to write it down for myself so I remember. What vocabulary did we use at the beginning? Yeah, there's one come through. You have to make it personal. The more personal you can make your learning, the more you're going to remember it. And it's much better to spend 15 minutes making your learning personal and then remembering that lesson for the rest of your life than spending hours and hours with passive content, not meaningful in any way. You spent all those hours doing it and then it's all gone after a few weeks. Okay. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay, so I know there's sports going on. People are watching sports. Sorry to have done this at such a bad time. Okay, so yes, Roberta, count on, go the extra mile to have someone's back and close knit. And lend a hand was the other one, wasn't it? Okay, so those tips once more. Have clear goals. So get set in your mind exactly what you want to achieve. Create a schedule. So actually hold yourself accountable. Set reminders, alarms to do your daily practice. Do engage with the language daily. Try to practice speaking regularly. Try to seek feedback and connect your learning to a personal experience. Make it meaningful to you. Okay. So, how can I support you in your journey? Well, I told you at the beginning of all the social media platforms where you can find the content that I've been making over the 7, 8 years that I've been making content for English Like a Native. You've got YouTube, Instagram, podcast, and that's all available to you for free to enjoy as much as you like. And you can get a lot out of that. But I also have my community. Now, the Elan community is a platinum award-winning community. What does that mean? We were awarded platinum status because our community is one of the most engaged. From the host who hosts our community, who hosts thousands of communities, all different types of communities around the world, Elan, the English Like a Native community, is one of the most engaged. We're in the top few percent of communities for having very engaged members. And that's what you want from a community. You don't want to turn up to a community and there's nothing going on and you say hello and no one responds. That's not a very close-knit community. You want a community that's engaged. And within our community, you are never alone. You're learning with like-minded people. There are interactive live classes. So you can join sessions that are specifically designed for upper intermediate to advanced learners and interact with the teachers, get feedback. You can join live speaking classes. So there's many classes. I'm going to show you, if you will let me, I'm going to show you inside the community if you'd like a little sneak peek. You can join in with the engaged group chat on Telegram. There's also a chat room within the community as well if you don't like Telegram, but Telegram's cool. I think it's okay. And there's also tons and tons of additional resources, reading, listening materials, and lots of writing opportunities as well. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to show you around. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me show you in. Let me just get my screen up here. And okay. So here is my community. So this is what you find when you come into the community as a member. So this is a platform that looks quite similar to like a Facebook. You have a feed. Your feed shows you all the most recent posts. You have a little box at the side that talks about upcoming events. And then you have your navigation down the left side here. So in here, you can come and see what live events are happening. And so here is a schedule. Now I'm actually going to show you a clearer schedule. Hang on, so here's a schedule of all the live events that are happening within the club at the moment. So this is for August. So you can see there is a lot going on. Okay, so we have Conversation Club. These are classes where you get to do speaking practice. You need lots of practice. And then there are a live class every week, either with myself or with our resident English teacher, Mike, who is fantastic. And then I often do an office hours or a drop-in session. If you have any specific things you want to talk about or you want help with, that's a session for you to jump in and do that. Okay, so we have our events. We also have our courses within here. Now, if you decide to be a Conversation Club member plus, if you go for the higher tier membership, you get access to not only those live events, but you also get access to a suite of courses. So you get 6 courses as part of the Plus membership. Now, previously, we sold these as independent courses, and now we've packaged it all up so that you can get access to our B1 course, our B2 course, our C1, our C2, the pronunciation course, and the business English course, all as part of a monthly membership. So you can start and stop whenever you like, come back when you've got a month to keep going. And so this is a really great way to progress your English, is being part of the Plus membership. Now, let me show you what else we've got. So we've got the common room here. So in the common room, we have the live lesson library. And this is a library that stores all of our previous live lessons. I talked about the English lessons that happen once a week. Sometimes we focus strictly on pronunciation. Sometimes it's on advancing your vocabulary and structures. Maybe we'll cover in a fun way some grammar points as well. So here, if you miss something, it's okay, because here is where you'll find it. Okay. So if I come into here, for example, you'll find there are lesson notes to download, and you can watch the video once again and then leave your comments should you need to. Now, with Mike's classes, the classes that happen on a Monday, there is also homework that's set. So this is an opportunity for you to push yourself to get involved with the writing task. So you can watch the lesson again, you can download the lesson notes, and you can do the writing task. And many people get involved and put their writing work in here. We're a very engaged community. Now, there's also a chat feature here. So if you wanted to get involved in chit chat, then you can. We have the knowledge base, which is if you ever have any doubts about something and you really just want to clear it up, then we cover a lot of bases with grammar from beginner through to advanced. And we also give you some ideas of things to watch. If you're really keen to watch something in English, there are lots of ideas in here, and things to read. So the knowledge base is a good place to come and nosy around. We offer a green room. So if our students are really keen, then they can come and have speaking practice with other students that they've met in the community. And they can use some of the materials within the community to base their speaking practice on. But this is a Zoom room that's always open for our students to jump in at any time. We've started doing a Tuesday challenge. So every Tuesday we put out a challenge for you guys to get involved with, and give yourself a reason to come and visit again. And then there's a space for students to post. Now, the other interesting area is the conversation club. For every conversation class, there is pre-reading. Okay, so here is an example. Virtual pets. So for this class that's coming up soon, I think, or maybe it's just passed, this was all about virtual pets. So there's pre-reading. There's something here to watch. There's some vocabulary related to this topic. Then there are points to discuss. This is what we prepare for in the actual class. And then you can listen to the entire pre-reading as well, so that you have the audio. And we always recommend read and listen at the same time. Now, what you'll see is there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of topics in here. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about a specific topic vocabulary, so perhaps you're into cosmetic procedures, maybe you work in medicine and you're looking at this type of thing, cosmetic procedures as a place to work, an area to work. Maybe you're an engineer and you're into robotics. Well, you could just search up here to find it, or you could come and have a scroll through and find what looks interesting to you. Okay, there's so much in here, an enormous amount of resource. And something we recently added was the podcast plus space. So If you are a member of the club, whether you are on the standard membership or the plus membership, you can access all the podcast episodes, including all the bonus episodes that aren't available anywhere else. You can also get access to all the transcripts from every episode. We are currently on episode 325. And you can access the database, which gives you all of the vocabulary from all the 5-a-day episodes with descriptions and example sentences. Okay, so there's a lot here. There is a lot here available to you, and my students, they get on very well, and we'd love to invite a few more in. So if you're keen, this is how I can support you in the community. Okay, so what's going to happen now is I'm going to stay for a few more minutes. If you have any questions about joining the community, then please do. Remember, the discount is available to you, 10% off, and you can lock that discount in for 6 months, but it's only available if you sign up today. So I'm going to give you the link in the chat here. Now, the membership for the standard club, which gives you access to the podcast material and all the speaking classes, the weekly English class, that's available for $29 a month. You can join and cancel. You can pause your subscription whenever you want. $29 a month, but you also get 10% off. So I think it makes it like $26 something. If you want to join the plus membership, which gives you all those live classes, and the pronunciation course, the B1, the B2, the C1, the C2 course, the business English course. If you want all that, that's $99 a month. And with the discount, it's around $89 a month. Okay. So if this is an avenue you're looking to go down, if you really need to take your English to the next level and you're feeling frustrated and stuck using general online resources like YouTube, then this is an option for you. This is a way to take a step forward with guidance, with support, with reasons to feel motivated, with scheduled events to make sure you turn up and get involved. And people have become genuine friends within this community. We have two legacy members who are the best of friends. They found out they lived in the same country and they spend so much time together. It's just, they meet in real life and it's fantastic. So it would be lovely for you to come and join if you can. If you can't, and I know it's not for everybody, you still have thousands of lessons available for free using the podcast, YouTube, Instagram. Okay, and I will continue. I know I haven't made as much content on YouTube or on Instagram recently, but I will continue to get through my workload in order to create more content for you. Okay, so this is just an option for those people who are in a position to do it and really need to take their English to the next level. Lots of our students come to us having lived in the UK for years, but still feel completely isolated, like they're stuck, they've plateaued. They're in the English-speaking country, but they aren't making any progress. And they felt isolated for ages, for years. And so they come to Elan, and often we unlock them. Just this week, I think yesterday on Telegram, one of our ladies who's lived in Scotland for a very long time shared the news that she'd passed a big exam, and she's super excited. This is an exam in an English-speaking educational setting for a qualification for her work. So she's done it all in English, and she's finally felt confident to take the exam, and she's passed with flying colours. Okay. All right. So no questions coming through. That's okay. If you're watching the recording, then feel free to leave your questions in the comments, and I will answer when I can. Don't forget, if you are joining today, then please use the coupon code +10 in the checkout. And I'll give you a few more minutes for any questions whatsoever. What do you want to ask me? Okay. What's the difference between sweet and candy? So sweets is British English. You might get jelly sweets, like jelly beans or gummy bears or hard boiled sweets. Candy is American. We do sometimes use it here. I think children hear the word candy on a lot of American cartoons. So, like, my son occasionally says candy. I say it's sweets. So yeah, they are the same thing, but one's more American. Okay, any other questions, guys? I hope today has provided some useful tips, at least some vocabulary. Okay, nothing coming through. All right, then. I will call that a day and go and record some more podcast episodes. So, thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. And I hope to see you one day in the Elan community. If not, take care and goodbye, everyone.